black dog is what we're going to react to now. Tom Stevens, your resident psychotherapist, reaction therapy, and mental health awareness to the world. Without further ado, it is Taylor Swift and the Black Dog.
I am someone who, until recent events, you shared your secrets with, and your location you forgot to turn it off. And so I watched as you walk into some bar called the Black Dog and pierced new holes in my heart. You forgot to turn it off.
This her voice. Her voice is so good. If you just take the voice and you take the pausing and you take the way she emphasizes things, it's incredible. And how many of you have done that? See, I didn't grow up in an era of any internet or social media or anything, so there was no location to turn on or off. But how many of you have done that in a relationship where it's over, yet the person didn't turn their location off? On purpose, maybe, maybe not. And you get to see where they are and how tempting it is. I tell people all the time, do not look at their location. Turn them off. Block them, not out of spite, but out of gratitude for yourself that you don't have to see messages and postings and everything from them. And I remember my son and some of his friends one day were here in college and they're like, no, that's mean. You don't block people like that. I'm like, oh, so you just stay in touch with your exes. Is that it? That's not good, y'all. I'm just telling you. She's laying out the story of, we're broken up and I saw you going to this place and I thought you turned it off, but you didn't turn it off. Oh, goodness, Taylor, what a voice.
Bar called the Black Dog and pierced new holes in my heart. You forgot to turn it off. And it hits me. I just don't understand how you don't miss me in the Black Dog when someone plays the starting line and you jump up, but she's too young to know this song that was intertwined in the magic fabric of our dreaming. Old habits die sweet.
Woo! See how she does that when she talks about old habits die screaming and she's screaming. Ah! I just love that. Old habits do die hard. And she's done that before in other songs where it's like, do you remember when you hear this song? You know, do you remember? And when you're in that place, when you're in the Black Dog, when this thing happens, when this song starts, when this line's sung, do you remember? Do you think of me? Oh, she's too young. Is that alluding to somebody that one of her exes got with that is too young or that was pretty young? I love the screaming part.
Old habits die sweet. I move through the world with the heart broken. My longings stay unspoken, and I may never open up the way I did for you. And all of those best laid plans, you said I needed a brave man, then proceeded to play him until I believed it.
Gosh, this is painful. We should only do this one song for a 30-minute video, the way that she described this. I mean, when you go back and you see what she said, I move through the world with the heart broken. My longings stay unspoken, and I may never open up. When you've been hurt and devastated this much, and I want to tell you something, if you've ever been in a really horrible relationship, it's not that you throw everything away when you break up and it was terrible and it was no good. Take the parts of that you really appreciated, loved, and enjoyed, and know that you want those in the next relationship. And try not to hang up on the fact that you don't have those anymore, because your happiness in the future is not dependent on that person in the past. Your happiness going forward in a relationship is not going to have anything to do with that person from before. But sometimes we feel like I'm never going to have that again because that's the only place I ever had that. And so she's saying, I'm just going to close up and not be open anymore. And then she lays out all the best laid plans. You said I needed a brave man. You started to be that brave man, and I started to believe it. And there was the downfall. It's not the downfall. That's vulnerability. That's opening yourself up. It is heartbreaking. It's crushing. It's grief. It's hard. But it doesn't mean it was wrong or shouldn't have happened.
Best laid plans. You said I needed a brave man, then proceeded to play him until I believed it too. And it kills me. I just don't understand how you don't miss me in the shower and remember how my rain-soaked body was shaking. Do you hate me? Was it hazing for a cruel fraternity I pledged and I still mean it? Old habits die screaming. 6 weeks of breathing clean air, I still miss the smoke. Were you making fun of me with some esoteric joke? Now I wanna sell my house and set fire to all my clothes.
Man.
And hire a priest to calm and exorcise my demons. Even if I die screaming.
There is a lot of insecurity in her in some of these words of, was I just a joke? Were you just playing me like a fraternity hazing incident? And it doesn't mean that it always is that way, but I think there are many times she's felt like I've been played here. But you know, you're willing, consenting adults. You're in this together. And this, I haven't heard her talk about the shower before and the way she was so descriptive with that. That's a little different for me. But sometimes these things happen. And that's why I want you to be careful with who you choose to be with. And you think I'm with the right person finally, but maybe not. Still want you to hear it.
And I hope it's shitty in the black dog when someone plays the starting line and you jump up, but she's too young to know this song that was intertwined in the track.
I shouldn't say too young. It's too young to know this song. Like it's an oldie. It's something that they're used to, that only he knows. And you know, here comes the bitterness, right? The anger, the resentment, the frustration, the hostility, all that stuff of like, I hope you have a terrible life and I hope everything goes bad for you. You don't need to do that because sometimes we're thinking too far back. It's why Jelly Roll said in his Grammy acceptance speech, you know, it's a reason why the rear view mirror is the size it is and the windshield's the size it is. Rear view mirror is a really tiny mirror. Don't look back much. Like look forward, see what you got coming in front of you.
Too young to know this song that was intertwined in the tragic fabric of our dreaming. 'Cause tail between your legs, you're leaving. I still can't believe it. 'Cause old habits die scream.
Do you hear how she ended that with old habits die screaming? But screaming very quietly. That was so different. Taylor Swift, the Black Dog, loved this one for mental health because it describes the pain we go through sometimes and the cycle of grief, of being in despair, of wishing it hadn't happened, being in denial, then being in anger and all that other great stuff. But remember, it's not real therapy. It's just Tom Break It Down lyrics. Leave your comments. Let me know what you think. Remember, mental health matters, and so does yours. See you on the next Reaction Therapy.